So when you have everybody in the room, you got this grid up there. The very first horizontal step is you're going to say, the first thing we're going to do is to try to identify characteristics of our best employees. You don't need to use people's names, but no matter who you work with now, who you've worked with in the past, or who you've worked with even at other companies, what were the characteristics that made these people the best? Now, the reality is you're kind of looking for people in your current business. And the reason why is because the people, if you have enough history, the people who are best performing in your current business model, in your current set of stresses and activities is the most important. But the reality is you want to start to weave these things out. So, one of them could be like proactive communications. One is like owns all the results. Another one could be, very analytical decision making, whatever these things are. And you spend a good amount of time. I mean, it could be 20 minutes, 15 minutes until people start to either duplicate things or whatever. But here's the process is you put all of them on the board, right? It doesn't really matter where they sit on the board. I'm talking about a whiteboard, but the thing is you need people to see these things, because over time what will happen is the explosion will happen. There's no priority or hierarchy in terms of who answers first. It's full blown come out. And what you'll see is you'll have this massive boom, and then it'll start to taper off because everybody's starting to see something very similar. But you don't put you don't try to simplify it. If somebody says work ethic and another person says hardworking, you put them both up there, because we're going to go through a way to simplify it. But the first step is what's important. Think about our best employees and figure out what are the characteristics that made them great, right? That's the first step. Second step, we're going to think about everybody who has been in this organization that has been fired, right? What are the characteristics that they had that made them not good employees, right? And it doesn't matter what level. And again, you're not calling people's names out, but everybody can start throwing these things up, right? Maybe, one person was back channeling, right? Decisions. Another person was, didn't have thorough decision making or whatever it may be, but there was something that caused them to be exited. And you're trying to get down to the characteristics themselves, right? Not the action that they did, but the characteristics. Like, and by the way, I want to say something about things like integrity, trustworthiness, or whatever. In the end, in every single exercise, everybody throws those up on the board. But the truth is those will probably never make it into your core values, because it's kind of a minimum level of acceptability, right? You should never have to have a company where one of the top things that you want to become is high integrity or trustworthiness, but you let that stuff get up there, right? Because eventually you'll make the statement that I did at the end, right? So you don't want to hold anything back. So the second step is tell us the characteristics of everybody that was fired, because it's the antithesis of what great people do in this business, and you need to be able to bounce off of that. The third section is people that you admire. Now, when you talk about people that you admire, this is beyond the business, right? It could be people in the business, but honestly, it could be your mom or your dad. It could be your younger brother, or it could be Richard Branson, or it could be Elon Musk, or it could be, a president of a country, whatever it is. And you want to start to pull those characteristics out. Now,